Three words to describe this episode: cerebral, beautiful, and tragic. Hi, nice to meet everybody. I'm Dave Wilson, the Supervising Director of Secret Level, which launches on Amazon Prime in December. Incredibly excited to be here today to celebrate this coming together of 15 different IPs to celebrate gaming and gamers the world over, and specifically to talk to you today about Honor of Kings. The simplest thing to think about is we wanted games that represented everybody. And not just AAA blockbuster titles, but everything from indie and nostalgia games to games that haven't even come out yet. We wanted it to represent the games of the past, the present, and the future. Yes, Blur's created trailers with the Honor of Kings team before, so we're very familiar with them and how picky they are and the high standards they have, so they are a perfect fit for our show. It is always interesting to try new things, not just with the series, but with the episodes themselves, and it was a very pleasant surprise of how cerebral Tencent and Timmy wanted to be with their episode in particular. But I definitely feel like there were many boxes that Honor of Kings ticked in terms of what would be a great addition to our episode. But I think obviously going into any relationship with partners that you know and trust who have the same high standards you do always makes it a bit easier. On the cultural side thing, like I mentioned in the previous question, the author of the short story, S.L. Wang, actually taught computer science in China. So a lot of I think some of the cultural touchstones that are in the episode are a combination of her sort of more thorough understanding of that culture, but also everything we gleaned from Tencent along the way. I don't want to even try and suggest I fully sort of grasp or have a strong grasp of all the cultural tenets of the game and the culture it represents. I think one of the things that's difficult about short form storytelling is you often need to lean into very graphic, visual, or familiar sort of storytelling principles in order to convey an idea quickly or succinctly. We needed Yijing to understand that his parents made a sacrifice, but especially one that he was not aware of. There's an element of his past that he has not confronted, and it has fueled much of his sort of decision-making since that event. So yes, I do think that there are elements of it that are, sort of cliche or tropey, but we wanted you to understand as an audience there was a traumatic event in his past that has influenced who he is, but that event is not what he remembers it being. If you're asking where I come down on the debate of determinism versus free will, I think it doesn't really matter either way. I think because even if someone did prove to me that the universe was deterministic, like I said, the choice at that point is to sit in a corner and rock yourself back and forth into insanity, knowing that you have no agency in your life, or you can just choose to believe that your choices make a difference. And I think everyone is going to choose that our choices make a difference. The ending of the episode is probably my favorite part, just in not only what it has to say about the episode, but the nature of which we discovered that ending. It wasn't in the original script. It was a concept that came from a phone call I had with Victor, where he pitched the ending, what if Tiangong emerges, only to welcome in Yijing. And then the other part of that I love is, if you're asking if it's the original timeline or we're on a cycle, there's no difference between those events. It's the same thing. Like the Tiangong answers that too in the episode. There's no difference between remembering the past and imagining the future. It's sort of an encapsulation of the idea that the universe is deterministic. But it's a sort of lovely Black Mirror-esque ending to our episode that we did not come up with. It It's a pleasure being here. Thank you for having me. Check out Secret Level.